The Leo is a Tier 7 Swedish tech tree medium tank, and if it ever had the opportunity to grind to a Tier 8 medium, the Lansen C is about as close as you could possibly get. The Lansen C is fast. It goes in at a top speed of 55 kilometers per hour with a very solid power-to-weight ratio of 22.1. It also has great alpha at 320 damage per shot. It's got fantastic penetration at 202 millimeters, and surprisingly really good dispersion at 0.38, boasted with a fantastic aiming time, just similar to the Chinese mediums like the T-34-3 and the 122TM. The Lansen C also has great gun depression, making it very flexible on almost any terrain. In today's video, I'll be doing a full in-depth review on the Lansen C Moose. The Lansen C is a Tier 8 Swedish premium medium tank, and in today's video, I'll be doing a full, in-depth review letting you know everything you will need to about this hard-hitting tank, its statistics, armor profile, and as well some crazy ace tanker gameplay for you guys. And this is no joke, one of the craziest battles I've ever had in Tier 8. So let's start off with the statistics of the vehicle and talk about what is good and what is bad. Well, aiming time and dispersion is actually fantastic. It's got a 2.8 second aiming time and 0.308 on the dispersion. You might think, well, that's pretty average for a decently accurate medium, but this has big alpha. It's 320 damage per shot. If you compare that to vehicles that normally have bigger alpha, especially a medium tank, they sacrifice a lot when it comes to either penetration, damage per minute, or accuracy. And not only does this vehicle have great accuracy, but also 212 millimeters of standard AP pen and 254 on the premium. That is plenty to even penetrate most Tier 9 heavy tanks, and the damage per minute at 1900 isn't bad either, especially judging that I'm running calibrated shells. As many of you know, I like to gain extra penetration. But if you're running gun rammer, 2073 damage per minute for the alpha is plenty, because sure, you might not have as much damage per minute as, let's say, a Progetto 46, but you outtraded every shot. So as long as you work it on a ridge line, or you know how to poke your opponents and you pen your shots, especially because it is that accurate, you're not going to have to worry too much because you'll outtrade any other medium apart from like an M1 Reveillerise. So it's fantastic on the alpha and damage per minute, at least in my opinion. When it comes to armor, we'll obviously break onto that on Armor Inspector, but it does have 10 degrees of gun depression, which is absolutely fantastic for working any ridgeline. Mobility-wise, it's 55 kilometers per hour forward and 18 in reverse. It's not the fastest tank in reverse, but it's definitely more than adequate when you're backing up any hill or just trying to get out of fire. Having a good top speed is very important, but also even more important than the top speed is power to weight ratio. Having a really bad power to weight can completely make or break a vehicle, because, you know, if you can't position on any terrain, then that's going to absolutely suck. Thankfully, this vehicle boasts a power to weight ratio of 22.1. Definitely not the best. Vehicles like the AMX CDC and the Brask are sitting easily over 30. Sitting at 22 is still plenty for this tank's fantastic terrain resistance and ability to get up to 40 kilometers per hour on average, so not slow at all. When we take a look at the armor profile of the Lansen C, yeah, it's not great on flat ground. Sure, there is a very troll upper plate that you can get a lot of auto ricochets on. Unfortunately, most of the hull is very easy. The lower plate's only 78 millimeters thick, which means if you get out a vehicle like a Borsig or an ISU 152, you can actually penetrate the lower plate on this vehicle. The upper plate's only 87. Even the turret at thickest is only about 132. And you might think, well, use your gun depression. Yeah, even then, it's just bad. Its turret is only about 153 thick. I mean, this isn't a mil 1 aiming at you, but you could easily pull out a Tier 7 and still a 45 TP, which has pretty lackluster standard pen at 175, butters through the frontal armor of this tank. So one thing you have to know is if you get the Lansen, do not poke thinking that you're going to bounce shells, because you most definitely will not. The side armor on the vehicle does not get better either. It's only 40 millimeters. Oh, yeah, that means almost any Tier 8 medium, if it gets your side, can easily penetrate with HE. Just for example, the 45 TP has 53 millimeters of HE pen, so that is absolutely dog water. The rear of the tank also is very bad at 30 millimeters, 43 on the turret. It is not going to be known for its armor profile. Now, it will have, just like the Leo, some very troll auto ricochet angles. Like, you can shoot at the frontal plate here if you're shooting at the side, and it'll hit that front plate and ricochet, and that's also the case for the back. If you're angling this tank, you can get some very weird, peculiar bounces all over it, but those are lucky. I will definitely say that luck will play into certain games. You might get a bounce here or there, but for the most part, please do not rely on the armor profile of this Tier 8 medium. Normally, when I do a full in-depth tank review, I like to feature 2 ace tanker replays, but this battle is so insane that I kind of figured it will showcase everything you will ever need to know about the Lansen C. So what does my team have and what does the enemy team have? Well, the enemy team has 3 mobile tanks. They got a Sphere, a 4485, and an FV301. And my team has 1 extra mobile tank, being the Progetto 46. Unfortunately, as you'll notice right at the beginning, my Progetto has decided that sitting at our spawn camping in a bush is going to be the most important thing, so I'm basically down a teammate. This is right now a 6 versus 7, which is already not a great start to this battle, but oh boy, does it get much worse. Now on the other side, we have the FV301, but you'll also notice that at base C, the 4485 is spotted and trying to shoot at my heavies. Now that's good news for me, because that's 1 less tank I will have to deal with over towards A side. And there you go, FV301 puts on speed boost that instantly lets me know that he is trying to run away and go towards base C. Now I have 2 opportunities here. Do I want to capture base A or do I want to try and support my team in? Yeah, with this battle right now, what's going on, we are already down an ISU and as well a tier 7 Cheeto SPG, which is not great. I don't know why the tank destroyers decided to YOLO into the pit of hell, but that's what they did. So I'm already down 2 tank destroyers, which is terrible just to begin this battle. But they're all up on tanks, and yeah, really the only one we've bled is the 4485, and yep, there goes another tank off our team. Oh no, and it's a Chrysler. This is not good. Well, I'm going to try and get some shells out. We got the FE301 there, and it's actually kind of lucky I didn't have to brawl at FE301, because while this tank has alpha, obviously the FE301 has about 500-600 more damage per minute than me. That's not a very fun fight, so I'm kind of happy I was able to clear that guy very early on. Obviously, in any mobile tank, your biggest priority is clearing mobile vehicles, because those are really the only ones that can catch you when you try driving away. But at this point, it's a 3 versus 5, which isn't fun at all. And I'm going to try and shoot at this ISA defender, and it hits that little front plate as he angles it. You can see the shell velocity wasn't fast enough to aim where I wanted it to, so yeah, I'm just going to go back to loading premium ammunition. It gives me better shell velocity and as well much better penetration to where I won't have a chance of bouncing the IS-3 defender. Now, because that defender shot me, I was like, well, I might as well clear him. So there you go. Easy shot into the defender. But man, that sucked. He max rolled me for 500. That's going to come back to haunt me maybe later in this battle. Oh, and there you go. The Sphere hits me as well. And I'm already down to 500 health in a 2 versus 4. And oh boy, you'll never guess who my teammate is. Oh yeah, it's the Progetto. So basically, it's a 1 versus 4 at this point. So I'm trying to think, what do I want to do? The Ferdinand is not looking at me. He's looking towards my Progetto. The Tiger 2 is distracted. So right now, I'm going to focus on this Sphere. I poke. I wasn't really sure if he was going to be facing there, but we got lucky that he missed his shot, because that makes me not a 1 shot. Because he missed that shot, this battle turned very drastically in my favor. So right now, I'm just thinking that this is a loss. I'm going to try and clear this Sphere as quickly as possible and then just farm as much damage. I'm at 2,400 currently, and well, let's just see how much I can rack up in this battle. Now at this point, I'm just like, you know what, I'll shoot an HE at the side of this guy. You can see just how weak the Swedish medium's armor profile are. You can do that as well when it comes to my tank, the Lansen C. It has the same side armor as that Sphere, so yeah, it's pretty easy to rip apart with HE shells. With that though, we're up to 2,900 damage, and it's perfect timing, because now the Ferdinand comes around the corner, but oh no, a full health Tiger 2, and we get a weird wonky bounce on that Ferdinand. I don't know if it hit his gun or just bounced off of a weird plate there, but did not want to penetrate, especially judging that that was a premium shell. But right now, I'm thinking, well, what do I want to do? We got the Ferdinand here. I don't have enough gun depression to work this ridgeline just because of the way it's faced, but he misses his shot, which is exactly what I wanted. I was just hoping to bait a shell, and now because the Ferdinand's stock, that we can note he's running the stock gun, I'm able to get behind him very easily. This guy is clearly not the threat. Sure, the Ferdinand gun is still pretty decent. It does have around 2,900 DPM, decent penetration. It's actually basically the Tiger 2 gun, but because the guy's stock, I mean, look at his traverse speed. It's absolutely horrific. Right now, I'm more worried about that Tiger 2, so I purposefully position myself in a way to use my mobility, get around the Tiger 2, and in a way that I can get behind this Ferdinand, finishing him off. But now at the same time, I'm worrying about base cap. I've got the Tiger 2, and I know that the base cap's getting really, really nasty and really close, and they still have another Tiger 2. So right now, I'm going to just instantly gun it. I'm going to say, balls for the walls, go around this Tiger 2 and Circle of Death him. This is where having good mobility is amazing. If you can use it, then you have a very, very good advantage on your enemy tank. And I don't know if this Tiger 2 just wasn't expecting me to do this. Obviously, this guy could have played better. He could have driven up to a wall or really done anything, but he didn't. This would have been a very easy win if he had just played this right, but because I purposefully stuck around his tank, he couldn't get me off. So there you go. There's another shell balance of the Tiger. We max roll it, which means now one shell will finish off the Tiger 2. Now, at this point, I am freaking out. My heart rate's pumping, but I'm still thinking, where's the other Tiger? Because they still have another vehicle that's almost full health, and what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go to base C. I don't know where that Tiger 2 is, and that's not my biggest priority right now. The most important thing to do is capture the base so I don't lose office supremacy, because imagine losing office supremacy. But there you go. AFK Tiger 2, right? Right? No, he's not AFK. Comes back, and I make a bit of a misplay here. Now, I do notice that the Tiger 2 is running this stock gun, so I wasn't super worried about him hitting me, but you'll notice that I should have tried to circle him. I thought he was going to pull forwards and stop me from getting around him, and the last thing I wanted to have happen in this battle was me to get pinned by this player. So another max roll from precision fire, but didn't really matter too much because, yeah, we're just enjoying this. I'm just flanking this guy again. 2 Tiger 2s, and yeah. Although I will say, this Tiger 2 played a bit better than the other one because this guy actually tried to go to a position where I couldn't get around him, but yeah, unfortunately, because I've got so much gun depression and because I'm just working my tank's mobility against him, there's really nothing he can do. So we're at 7,200 damage. And there you have it, folks. That was a crazy, crazy win. This is a 1 in 1 million chance battle. This is my highest tier 8 game I've ever played, and I never, ever once thought that I'd be able to do this. My team combined did about 2,000 damage, which is sad. I did almost 4 times my entire team's damage this battle. So yes, there was luck played into this game, but there was definitely a lot of skill, and it showcases just where a tank like the Lansen C can be absolutely insane. Now, do I think this vehicle itself is insane? No, I think it's a nice tank. It looks really nice, especially with the PBR, but I don't think it's the best vehicle in the game. By the way, I made 392,000 credits this battle. That is the most ridiculous amount of credits I've ever earned in this game. But as I was saying, I don't think the tank is overpowered. I think it's actually a pretty balanced vehicle. It's got a great gun. It's got great accuracy. I love it, but it does have the downside of no armor. And there will be games where you try working hull down and you get absolutely butchered by other tier 8 mediums that pen you. So you have to know how to use that alpha and outtrade your opponents. And that was a perfect battle to showcase where everything worked well for me. If I was in another medium tank, I probably could have done it a lot easier, honestly, if I was in, let's say, a T95E2 that had more DPM. But just the fact that this game is able to be played because of this tank's attributes showcases just where it's really nice. Hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video. And yeah, this is the Lansen C. So it's a great tank, it's mobile, it's got big alpha, and I've got no complaints for it. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Bye-bye.